Yes, bomb drops are definitely something you're going to want to find pretty early, and it looks like we're starting.
All right, so here is a full heart container in the very first chest of the game. And the uncle's weapon is coming up next. It's a hammer. This is by far the easiest start, not close.
Oh, absolutely. It'll make farming for bombs pretty easy, and it also does the same damage as Tempered Sword, which is going to make things pretty easy, especially since they have those extra heart containers, which really aren't needed this early on in the game.
Yeah, so the hammer start, doing some making things very easy on you. The only downside with the hammer is, wow, there's an 8 bomb drop for James. Sorry about that.
Well, he looks like he won't have to do any farming today.
Yeah, we are done with that mess.
Well, now we know that an 8 bomb drop is in the pool, so Dragon could still get that drop at some point.
Yeah, there's actually a good chance he gets it from the required green guard kill coming up here. I believe it was in the sword guard pool. Don't hold me to it. Could be wrong. Yeah, I have a habit of picking up that pot and tossing it at the blue guard as well, like Dragon does there.
I typically would go out of my way to try to find bombs in the escape, just so I don't have to do that backtracking later, so I typically make that play as well.
There's the first of our many, many big 20s. The sync is real on the pot strats here.
Yeah, both players pretty much in the exact same spot.
And so we found the map there in the chest in Zelda's cell, meaning there is a small key in the next upcoming chest. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get to the sanctuary, and we'd have some real problems on our hands.
Yes, and this is also going to mean that the back of Escape is going to have 3 items in it as well, and the actual sanctuary itself is also going to have an item. So that's 4 item locations they can check.
And Dragon finally did get that 8 bomb drop off of a green sword guard there on the way back from the basement, so we will be good on the bombs as well.
So far, the seed seems to be a little bit friendly towards us so far, but it could always turn. We could end up with a pedestal seed.
There is always that possibility. Now, interestingly enough, so the odds of Agahnim being required in any given seed, by the logic anyway, is about 26%. I've ran some numbers on that. When you start with the hammer, it goes down to 16.
The first randomizer I ever played, as it turns out, was an Aga required seed, and I was still so new to it that I didn't even realize that and had to give up the seed.
All right, so both runners once again back toward an almost sink here. Now we go to fight the true final boss of Escape here, the Key Rat.
What always interests me the most is how the runners diverge their routes after Kakariko Village. Where do you think they're gonna go, depending on what items they find?
Well, I know a lot of people will go to South Shore no matter what happens. But with the book in hand, you might do it in a different order. Like, whenever I pick up the book, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do Mini Moldorm Cave, then Dam, then go to Desert, instead of doing Ice Rod Cave. Now that being said, the book also gives us one more possibility that is very enticing to me, and that is the early pedestal check.
I am very interested to see if someone goes for that pedestal check, especially since we're going to be going into Lost Woods pretty much almost immediately if they follow the typical routing.
I really do like having, if I get the chance to get that information, I like having it. So I'm pretty sure I saw a crystal at Hera and Eastern there, and I think it might have been a pendant at Desert, though I could have been making that up.
There was definitely a crystal at Hera and a pendant at Desert, but I did not catch Eastern.
Okay, yeah. Eastern was definitely a crystal, and Tower of Hera was actually a 5/6 crystal. And Dragon's just checking the bombs there in the Lost Woods, not gonna go to the pedestal. Now James is checking the Lumberjack Cave, just a +5 arrow upgrade there, or bomb upgrade, excuse me, words. I accidentally a word.
I do that all the time, don't worry. And they've got plenty of rupees to start off with, too, so they won't have to farm for any rupees for the bottle salesperson.
Alright, so James is picky. James is doing it. James is doing the pedestal check.
This could be it. Everyone get hyped.
We also, while that was happening, there was a lamp over in Blind's hut. And a bottle. It's bombs.
No pedestal seed today.
So James is picking up. James picked up that information though, so it's actually fairly valuable information. It means if you go into a pendant dungeon and you found all the items, there's definitely no reason to go fight the boss unless it's the green pendant. But that's neither here nor there. So you think we found enough bombs yet?
No, I think we're still short about maybe like 50 or so bombs.
Big chunk of change here in the Kakariko well. As James will now head into Blind's hut here. Ah, yes, that's where the red mail was, along with the fire rod, my goodness. So both fire sources inside this, inside Blind's hut here.
We might see Desert being completable unless it's boot locked.
Yeah, they will need a glove if they want to get to the boss. That being said, if the boss doesn't have an item, there's no reason to go there.
And the way the items are playing out right now, if it were me racing right now, I might make a Desert Palace play first.
Oh yeah, when I get the book, I'm definitely going to Desert. Unless I get the flippers. In which case, I'm probably going to the right again, just so I can check all the flipper locations.
And Dragon's going to go get his Moon Pearl now. An early Moon Pearl and the hammer is a very good thing. We might see Dark World access pretty quickly into this run.
Yep, there is however, always the little red herring there that you get the Moon Pearl early, and then all of a sudden both gloves are in the Dark World. Which is never fun.
And that could lead us to an Agaseed.
Right. Alright, so just a red rupee on the library. I didn't see that earlier. Alright, so Dragon going to the dam first. James almost saved and quit, and then was like, wait a minute.
Probably thought, oh, it's nothing. Oh, wait, man, no, I think I need that.
So Eastern should be a crystal. Oh, it's a blue pendant? Someone's telling me it's a blue pendant. Perhaps I missed it.
I definitely saw the blue pendant on the map. I just don't remember where I saw it at this point.
Okay, well, it's possible I saw blue and thought, oh, that's a crystal. So, yeah. So the ice rod is available in the dam area. That is a nice find early on.
And some nice bomb strats from Dragon there.
Very nice indeed.
And getting the bow now means, I believe, Eastern is now completely completable now.
Wow. So the ice rod, the bow, those are items that tend to troll you pretty hard early on.
But having the Moon Pearl, the lamp, and the bow, this is a very interesting seed so far. This could either go really fast, or this could end up being a really, really trolly seed.
Alright, so I did, in fact, just go back and confirm through the VOD that it is, in fact, the blue pendant, and I was talking out of my rear end. Alright.
I also love how they didn't get the bomb capacity upgrades until after they picked up like the 20-30 bombs they already had.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. Dragon checking the island on Lake Hylia. Just a big 20 there as well. Oh, and there's the Cane of Samaria on the desert ledge.
That is going to come in very handy in the later game, potentially.
There are the flippers in Sahasrah's closet along with the flute. My goodness.
And we're starting to get that route divergence we were talking about. While Dragon is making his play towards east, and James is going into desert, going there, and it is not boots locked, so he could complete it.
Yep. He wants to hope that there's not an item on the boss. Because to get to the boss, you'd still need a glove.
Plus, he does not have enough magic to complete it.
There's some pots. And you can use hammer strats on land molas if you have to.
Oh, right. Yeah, completely slipped my mind there.
So James just had a bit of a hiccup there, and we missed what was in the big key chest. But it might have just been the big key. There's a 300. What was in the first chest over there on the right side?
I don't remember. It might have been the key.
Well, he got the small key in the very first chest, and then on the right-hand side, it was the map. Okay, so there is an item on land molas. I basically just tune out any maps and compasses I see, so... And Dragon's gonna go finish Eastern Palace. So here's the thing.
Might as well, since you're already there.
So here's the thing. This is where James makes up the time he used to take the pedestal. Because Dragon is going to Armos having found all 3 items in Eastern. So once James goes into Eastern, he'll be able to get those 3 items and peace out immediately.
Oh, that's a very interesting point. James did lose a little bit of time by checking that pedestal, but that was very valuable information, which is sometimes more valuable than an item itself, and so knowing that, that'll save him probably a couple minutes there.
Pedestal is just bombs, so he knows that these runs or the Eastern Palace boss is not necessary. And James now picking up his bow. I think he's heading over to Ice Rod Cave, and then we will get some more checks done here. I imagine Dragon will either be going to Desert or perhaps some of the flipper checks here.
He's certainly got more than enough rupees. If I were him, I'd be going to Zora right now.
Well,
those 2 chests.
Yeah. I stand a little bit corrected because clearly he's going to go activate the flute first, and then he's going to go wherever he's going to go.
Yes, and that'll make movement around the map that much faster.
Alright, and so Dragon activates his swag duck as James heads over to Sahasrah's closet.
And it looks like he will be doing some of those flipper checks.
Yes, both runners do have a bottle. They picked that up inside Blind's hut, if I recall correctly. It was at the top. And then the ice rod was at the dam, so yes, both runners have access to that as well. Oh ho! So the hobo just handed us the cape, which is probably the item we wanted to see the least right now.
And since we haven't found a sword yet, Aga is technically accessible, although I don't think they can kill him with their weapons unless Hammer can do
Well,
damage.
no, they can't. They can't get to Aga because they can't cut the curtain.
I believe you can actually get through the curtain with the cape.
No, you can get through the barrier out front with the cape, but not the curtain between the room where Aga is and the room where you fight him.
Oh, right.
All right, Zora, what do you got for us? It's a hook shot. So we just got a whole metric buttload of other items open to us on Death Mountain.
I'm wondering where these swords are going to be. I've seen races where it's not even an hour into the race before we even find a single sword.
Yeah, it's very possible that the sword could troll for days. So it may seem like James is a little behind here, but remember, he's got that Cane of Samaria from Desert, which Dragon does not, so that could make a pretty big difference coming up here.
And he also has that knowledge of the pedestal check.
In fact, you know what would be hilarious is if we find both gloves up here on Death Mountain, and that gives James the occasion to go right into Turtle Rock.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
You'd also need a medallion, but, I mean, come on. Alright, so Swag Duck is now available for both players, and James is about to do the flipper checks as well. This will get him his hook shot and allow him to access these 7, nay 8, nay 10 chests, or 10 items over here. 7 items in Paradox Cave, 1 in the Spiral Cave, and 1 and 2 in Tower of Hera. There's a sword for Dragon, so we now have Aga access.
There we go. This could be an Aga required seat at this point if we don't find gloves in the light world.
And nothing else in Paradox Cave, so 3 more items we can reach up here. Plus a 4th we can check, but not acquire yet. Which is the Ether Tablet.
It'll be interesting to see if Dragon actually goes to check Ether Tablet, especially since he skipped Pedestal check.
And James just got a free fairy in a bottle from the Waterfall Fairy today. Oh, we did get to see the floating island check. I did not see what was up there.
I missed it as well, yeah.
100 rupees, it looks like. Strangely enough, people get all excited about the validation arrow. That's the only 100 rupees in the game. Alright, so 1 item found in Tower of Hera.
Here's to hoping they won't have to do a basement check.
And so we will want to see the 2nd item sometime in the next 3. Oh, there's the small key. That's potentially problematic. And we move on to the big chest, which has the compass. Now we're down to Trolldorm being the last bastion of hope for avoiding the basement.
Do you think Dragon will make a play for the basement if it turns out there's a basement seed?
I imagine he will. Mainly because right now he's like, I've got Aga access. I don't want Aga access. Give me something else.
I've seen races personally where one runner actually does the basement, the other person skips it, and that's where a valuable sword was.
Ooh. James did check Lumberjack Cave, Dragon did not. And Dragon just took a nasty fall on Trolldorm. Though Dragon still has Desert to check, so that may come in the future.
Nice clean 2nd attempt fight from Dragon.
And the map on Trolldorm, so the final item is in fact in the basement. You still got the basement up here, plus Spiral Cave left.
Hopefully this is a useful item for him. All right. Moment of truth to see what the
basement item here is, we'll get... Yeah, so the ether tablet, just a piece of heart. And a shield in the basement of Hera.
And that was some interesting strategies from Dragon to take the Death Warp. I really like that strategy there.
Yeah, because he needs to go to Spiral Cave after this, and you don't want to have to walk back out. He's also going to get the ether tablet checked, though I think he's going to try to do so with a bottle. Never mind.
Use it as a magnifying glass, I guess.
Dragon's going into the dark world here. This is not going to work out for him. You need a glove to get the item in Spike Cave.
He'll be figuring that out quite quickly.
And the save and quit of disbelief. And Dragon is now heading over to Desert. He's going to see that Cane of Samaria on the ledge, get real excited about it, and head into Desert.
And he also skipped Spiral Cave, so if that had an important item, that could also give James an advantage.
Yep. Alright, James setting up for the bomb jump here. Looks like he's got it.
Now he's gonna go do his Moldome fight.
I imagine once again we'll be seeing hammer strats. It's probably the best strat you can come up with here. And there we go. James manages to pull it off in short order. It's going to finish off the Trolldorm fight. Pick up that crystal and, you know, who knows? He may decide to skip the basement. He's not doing it. Now, Dragon's going to go get that Cane of Samaria. Then I imagine he'll go over to Agina's cave. And then I think his next play will have to be go to Aga. Either that or backtrack all the way to Spiral Cave.
Either way, it's a long travel distance, and it'll be interesting to see which way he goes and which one's going to play off in the end. I personally think he's going to go for an Agahnim check. I feel like if he was going to go for Spiral Cave, he would have gone to Death Mountain already. Alright, so James will now be walking his way out of Tower of Hera. So
So the Death Warp saving Dragon a little bit of time here. Dragon's actually going to go for Spiral Cave, it looks like.
I imagine he's off Agahnim as much as he can.
Yeah, so basically we're going to end up with a situation where both of our runners are, you know, getting the Spiral Cave item fairly soon after the other, and the Aga play will be kind of synced again. Unless, of course, there's a glove in here.
Right, absolutely. And one of my favorite parts about Randomizer is we saw our runners take like completely different routes, and now they're in pretty much in the same place, about to high-five each other here.
It's a bottle, and that's going to do it for the Light World checks. We're going to have to go to Aga here. James, where are you going? James, are you about to do the same thing Dragon did?
Looks like it, but he would not have enough health if he is going for a Spike Cave.
Yeah, there's a way to get some fairies from the bushes around the portal, but come on. Oh, I guess he just didn't do Spectacle Rock Cave. Okay. Yeah, he just went all the way to East Death Mountain first. I was confused.
I got worried he was going to make that same play for Spiral Cave.
Alright, so the Aga play is real now all of a sudden. When Dragon getting supremely trolled by those fast blue guards.
So obviously, once they finish Agahnim, they're going to be in the Dark World, and that's going to open up a lot of things, especially since they have the hammer this early on. Where do you think they're going to go first? Do you think they're going to go to Pod? Or do you think they're going to go to Kakariko, the Village of Outcasts first?
Well, I feel like Pod is the obvious play because you have everything you need to complete it. Unless it turns out to be a pendant, in which case you might delay it. And then after that, you could definitely head toward Kakariko Village, or maybe toward Hike Cave real fast, and then go back another direction. Dragon is now on a heart and a half in this room with the red spear guard. We'll pick up a couple more hearts under pots here if he desires. I picked up one, and now we are off toward the Aga fight. And James is making up some time here, as he is only a couple of 3 rooms away.
So we will see a little bit of a high five between our runners here in the Agahnim fight. And some RNG here could end up giving James another advantage here too if Dragon gets a lot of blue balls.
Well, you would think so, but the randomizer is designed so that both runners will get the same number. So, so far it's 2 on Dragon's side, and it will remain 2 so far. Now it's 3. And 3 should be all we get. Alright, so next order of business, Dragon heading into the Dark World. We just have a arrow upgrade on the pyramid. So where do we head first? Well, it looked like he was about to head over to Catfish, and then he was like, you know what, I got pod stuff. Let's do pod. Why? Why does pod have to be green pendant? This is dumb.
Oh man, and they don't even have the mirror either. I mean, pod being the green pendant and they have the mirror, that wouldn't be as bad, but unless they find the mirror in here, that could be a lot of time.
Looks like James might be heading to Hype Cave first.
This could be due to that information he has about pedestal being just bombs, and he could be banking on the fact that he may not even need to dip into pod at all.
It is possible to have a seed that is swordless until Ganon's Tower. You need 3 very specific pendant dungeons for that to happen. Specifically Skull Woods, Misery Mire, and Turtle Rock. And we find a mushroom in the first chest of pod. Half magic and a bottle are the main highlights of Hype Cave today.
Not terribly hype, but still a pretty decent find.
And Dragon's heading over to the right-hand side of pod because that is the only option available to him at the moment, due to the lack of small key in the front. So Dragon dipping the pendant dungeon, hoping to find something important, whereas James not touching the pendant dungeon at all. Interestingly enough, employing swimming strats when the hammer was available to knock down that peg. Alright, so we got double keys on the right-hand side.
just a shield upgrade for Bumper Cave, so will not be required this seed.
All right, so James is going to take a peek into Skull Woods here, taking an interesting route here.
And Palace of Darkness did indeed have the mirror. That is going to be potentially huge.
What? That's ridiculous. Anyway, so we know this chest is going to have a small key. I mean, I do find the mirror in pod fairly often, that is true. And, you know, I would not be surprised if we had gloves in swamp. That's the thing. I'm not usually a huge fan of going into swamp for any reason, except I'm looking for a glove or I'm looking for the ice rod. Or I'm go-moding it to get the crystal.
It's really funny. Most people really hate that dungeon, but casually it's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun to do. I just don't like going in there because statistics is the short answer to that question.
Yeah, I do get that. Yeah, absolutely. Speed running it and doing randomizer, it's not as interesting, but casually, I think it's my favorite dungeon.
Alright, so we've got a compass in the dark maze, a blue rupee in the dark maze, and a master sword in the big chest of pod.
Looking like pod was the right choice to make, given that mirror and the master sword at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you are definitely 100% going to need that mirror to complete this seed. Alright, so we're doing the fighter sword moth fight, but we have half magic and fire rod, so this should be a relatively simple fight. The red mail also makes it very easy. When you have the red mail, I like to just get up in Moth's face and be like, yeah, hit me. See what you do. The spikes will deal static damage no matter what your mail is, but Moth will deal more damage when you have the green mail, but less damage when you have the red. Looks like James did manage to find both the items in Skull Woods, or I imagine he'd be going for that chest in the back. Dragon is going on to Helmasaur.
And he does not know that pedestal is not required, but it is the green pendant, so might as well complete it while you're here.
Right, and, you know, while you're leaving, you could mirror and go check Sahasrara.
And that mirror was even found in this dungeon.
We may see a blind pedestal pull from Dragon when he heads over to Skull Woods.
You'll still have to defeat land mullahs, though.
Oh yeah, there's that. Forgot about that. Eh, details.
Who needs them?
Alright, so there was an item on Helmsword, just turned out to be a big 20, but the green pendant still holds mysteries. There's the first glove in the chest game in Village of Outcasts. And now for a dip into Thieves Town.
Thieves Town is one of those dungeons where even if it's a pendant dungeon or whatever it is, I still go in and check, because it's one of those things where easy item checks.
And Sazrala only had a little bit of hearts. Dragon's now going to get the hype cave check out of the way. The fact that he picked up that bomb actually made it work. It was very great. We got the Bombos medallion in Thieves Town. So Bombos is going to be required for some, or could be required for some dungeon. Maybe not, but it's possible. And Dragon is going into Swamp. My goodness. To be fair, I would not be surprised to see a glove in here.
I wouldn't be either. If they hadn't already found the hook shot, I'd say, hey, maybe a vanilla hook shot.
So no surprises on that first chest, guaranteed to be a small key. But from this point on, 6 possible items here in Swamp.
I'd have been more surprised if it wasn't a small key.
It's like all of a sudden, are we playing Key Sanity again? What happened?
This seed is broken. Oh no.
Alright, big key in the first chest. That's pretty much where you want to see it, to be honest.
Can get that early big key check. Yeah, that'd be nice. And Swamp is completable with the hook shot, so...
That's a pretty good route there. Alright, so James setting up the blind fight. There's the other glove. Big chest of swamp.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, this is a seed, all right. And James has finished up his blind fight for just a compass.
So we see Dragon going ahead and heading to the back of Swamp immediately. The only things that work on blind are the sword, the hammer, the cane of Samaria, and the cane of Burna.
James now has both crystals 5 and 6, so now Pyramid Fairy is now an option for James.
Interesting. Alright, so we got the dig 20 there at the digging game for, looked like 18 digs.
That's what I counted, yeah.
And we've got Fighter Sword, or no, Master Sword, excuse me, Argus over here. James is going directly for the Pyramid Fairy.
Honestly, I would probably make the same play myself.
I mean, he doesn't have the mirror yet, so there's basically nothing better for him to do at the moment.
And this is where having this valuable information about pedestal not being required could come back to haunt him. He could end up skipping pod for a very long time.
Dragon is going back for the left side of Swamp.
In chat, I am just loving all the puns you guys are coming up with. Just keep that going.
So how many R's does Argus have? I believe the answer to that question is however many you said last time plus 1. Just more R's. That being said, James just picked up the silver arrows at the Pyramid Fairy.
That's going to make a lot of boss fights easier, especially Helmasaur.
That is if James decides to go to Helmasaur at all. He may decide to peace out after finding the mirror. I don't know. We'll see.
Since it's the green pendant, I'd say it could go either way. I really don't have an idea which way he's going to go on that.
I mean, he will know that there's an item remaining, but he'll also know that it's, quite a time investment to go to Helmasaur. So, just depends on how you feel like gambling.
And he also doesn't know where things are. Ah, I forgot.
I mean, depending on medallions, we might actually have everything we need already between the two runners. There's a tempered sword on the left side of Swamp, which is the only item that was there, but, you know, potentially worth going out of your way for it.
I'd say it worth it, if not anything else except for that Ganon fight.
Just a red rupee on the Bombos tablet. And a piece of heart on Stumpsman. We may check the Grove Ledge cave here. And alright, so James will now be heading into the back of Pod. Gonna find that Master Sword back here in the big chest, but that's about it. Alright, so Dragon now we'll be heading around to do the tour. We may get a catfish check before we head on out. And we're also definitely getting a mushroom check because he's got the mirror out.
We've got vanilla silvers already. Maybe it's vanilla powder.
I'd be on board with that. Nope, just a big 20 as Dragon decides to go ahead and fill up a bottle with a potion.
Might as well since you're there.
Looks like James... Oh, James actually hasn't gone to get the mirror yet, apparently. But he'll be getting it soon enough. And the catfish check yields 300 rupees. So James uses that mirror. Is he going to stay? Yes, he's going to go ahead and finish off Helmasaur. Wait. Oh, I guess he hasn't gotten the key out of this chest either.
Looks like we're gonna see Ledge Jack over here from Dragon, and maybe even King's Tomb while he's here.
Well, he would need boots to get into that particular location.
Yes, I forgot they hadn't found that yet.
For all we know, they could be here.
Very true. Oh my god!
What?
Are you serious right now?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, that is incredible.
Oh, wow.
That actually just made my day right there.
I'm not gonna lie, I said that in hopes that it would be there, but I had no idea.
What are the odds of that happening?
You know, some say that those are footwear that make you go fast. Yeah, so the contents of the bonk locations back here not particularly paying off, but my goodness. And this does open up one possibility for massive trolling from the seed, and that is the possibility of a Ganon's Tower big key on the torch. If James never checks the graveyard ledge, never gets the boots, that could be a real problem. And there we go. James finishing off Helmasaur, picking up that green pendant, and Dragon will now be heading over into Skull Woods. Accidentally falling in the pinball room, so we're going to have to get that small key. There's a big key on the right-hand side here.
Looks like James is gonna go ahead and head over to Swamp Palace.
Good thing for that, because he's going to get that glove that he so desperately needs. And once you have the glove, I mean, at that point, you need to find out what medallions are required for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. So, if he goes to the back of Skull Woods first, even though the Tempered Sword is on the left side, I actually expect him to skip left side completely.
I could see that being the case, especially since he has no idea where Dragon is and what decisions Dragon's made. While these guys are checking areas we've already seen happen a little bit before, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our runners here, JamesFnX and dragonc0 here.
Absolutely. Doing an excellent job playing for the, for their tournament life here in the last run they have here.
And as a reminder, whoever wins this will probably move on to the bracket.
And James now entering the middle room of Swamp, getting the hook shot ready. And there's the Titan's Mitts. We did finally see Dragon do the pedestal check, so he now knows that his trip to Armos was pretty useless.
And that could potentially make him feel behind if he thinks that James already made that check. And so that could make him maybe make some more aggressive routing choices later on.
And James is in fact heading to the back of Swamp Palace right now, so we will see if he decides to go back in for that Tempered Sword.
I'm willing to
Dragon.
bet,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm willing to bet that James won't check that left side.
It does seem likely that James will forego the left side in hopes that he might be in go mode.
And technically the Master Sword is possible to begin with, but the Tempered Sword does make it that much easier. But he doesn't know the Tempered Sword's on that ledge.
Correct. Tempered Sword would also make Argus easier to beat. Alright, getting the nice silver arrow shot to take down Argus. That will get that crystal for James.
I bet you Ice Palace will probably be his next stop.
I kind of feel like it's going to be Mire. And the reason for that is we need to check what medallions are required. Because that's the only knowledge he's missing to know whether he's in go mode or not, right?
I don't know that he ever checked Total Rock.
Right. Neither player did because they couldn't. And we have an ether medallion, so we are still looking for things. So yeah, I was going to say, go to Mire. Well, pfft.
Oh my god, alright, yeah.
So much for that. And Dragon should have the Bombos medallion right now. It was in the front of Thieves Town in the vanilla big key chest. So, if Bombos is required for Turtle Rock or Ether, then we'll be good. So yeah, after going through... At this point, what I would do is I would get through Mire as quickly as I could. I would basically go mode it, assuming I have the medallion for Turtle Rock. Then I'd probably go mode Ice Palace with maybe a couple of chests thrown in. And then just immediately go up to Turtle Rock, see if I have the medallion that I need.
I'd say that's probably a pretty good plan. I would probably make that same play myself if I hadn't already gone to Ice Palace.
Are you a fan of Ice Palace or something?
I'm not. I just figured it'd be the next logical choice since we didn't know what medallions were required. Ice Palace is actually one of my least favorite dungeons to complete, mainly because it's the boss.
Yeah, Cold Stare can be a giant pain. And it'll probably be even more so for James on account of not having the Tempered Sword.
Unless we find that last sword in here somewhere, which, based on how we've been predicting things, that could very well happen.
And Dragon finally locates his Titan's Mitts. Alright, so James, having located the big key, now going to head over to Vitreous. Dragon, as we can see, foregoing any additional checks and going to the Mire Shed, where he immediately, once again, finds the Ether Medallion. Now, Dragon is going to have a bit of an advantage here, in that he has the boots. And Dragon, having already checked Misery Mire, is going to go ahead and check the Dark World Death Mountain area just to see if he's got the medallion for Turtle Rock.
This is it right here. Do they have all the medallions they need?
Quake! Are you kidding me?
That is trolly.
Well, it was accurate until we found out the medallion for Turtle Rock was Quake. And now we do not know who is in the lead. Alright, so James is going to go up to Death Mountain to check that medallion first, rather than going into Ice Palace, which is a, you know, given the situation, probably a prudent move.
And also probably the safer strategy anyway.
We find a shovel in Super Bunny Cave. Now I wonder if Dragon will be heading back into Spike Cave after his initial mishap there earlier today.
Looks like it to me.
Just a bottle in Spike Cave, meaning we're going on a Tilde search.
There's not too many more locations in the overworld they could check.
Yeah, basically. Watch it be on Landmo the whole time.
That would be incredible to see happen.
I appreciate Pimecone's little joke there in chat.
Chat is just on point with these jokes and puns today. I'm loving it.
The pedestal has been checked by both runners at this point. We know it to be 3 bombs. And so that's about it for that. James is going to go pick up his empty bottle in Spike Cave, whereas Dragon is going to go through Misery Mire. I think James may go check the digging spot, like, immediately.
I would too, just to put off Ice Palace as long as I could.
Does James still have the mushroom in his possession?
I believe he never turned that in.
So, he could do, like, the smith chain and add fake powder to that, and then throw in the digging spot and the mushroom check as well.
I could see that being a thing.
You ever seen fake powder?
I have not.
It's when you use the powder using the fake powder glitch because you don't have any magic left.
Nice.
Not sure where James is going at the moment. He may just be, No, I haven't the foggiest. A Bombo's tablet, maybe?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm thinking he's going to Bombo's tablet.
Going a bit of a funky direction to get there, but we did it. To be specific, Silver's at Pyramid Ferry. Well, James has not done Left Side Swamp. Because Left Side Swamp is where the Tempered Sword was.
And there is still one sword unaccounted for that neither runner has found yet, I believe.
Looks like Dragon took a beating here in Misery Mire and is having to redo this front room. Both players have checked the pedestal. It has 3 bombs.
I'm willing to gamble that purple chest could have Quake.
And we have a bug net buried in the grove. Yep, we are looking for that quack medallion. There it is. It was in the big chest of Misery Mire. Oh my God.
Ooh, now things are going to start to get interesting, because James never checked that.
Oh, James isn't going to go back in there for ages.
We're probably going to see him full clear eyes before he even thinks about going back in there.
Upside is he might find the boots.
But this has the potential to give Dragon a big advantage here.
He skipped the big chest because he thought, he had 2 medallions. He figured, the odds I'm in go mode are pretty high. Turns out, perhaps not. I mean, he did the routing through Mire that I would have done. I mean, I'd have got as wrecked as James is getting now.
Yeah, me too. I would have done the same thing.
I think he did get 1 item in Mire. Yeah, he got it off of Vigorous. Doing the fake powder glitch, we've got a big 20. James is now going to flute to 7, go turn in that purple chest, and then we'll see where he heads from here. Dragon is going to be without the silver arrows, but I don't imagine he's going to be unfamiliar with that fight.
Especially not in a 4-2 race like this.
Alright, so James purchasing a few potions, and we will see where he heads next. Dragon actually checking some chests here in Ice Palace, I imagine, potentially looking for those silver arrows. Not going to find them.
And I doubt he's going to actually go to the Pyramid Fairy for that, either.
And unfortunately, it looks like James is going to go full clear Ice Palace looking for the Quake Medallion.
He could also be hoping to find a tempered sword or the boots. We could even see him dip back in the swamp on the left side of swamp, because he never checked that.
Dragon having a little bit of trouble in my least favorite room in the game.
Definitely not a fun one.
Dragon accidentally moved down before dropping the bomb for the Ice Palace bomb jump. That's not going to work out. There we go.
Yeah, that looks good. Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, I think it might be a pixel high. There we go. That's definitely not good. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's definitely good.
There we go. Okay.
Alright, so now James working on that bomb jump, also having a little trouble. It is much trickier than people give it credit for.
It definitely took me a while to get it down completely where I could do it consistently.
Oh, and James got it and then accidentally slipped around the edge. Oh, that is unfortunate. There we go. But Dragon is now facing off against Cold Stare.
But with plenty of health and the tempered sword, I'm sure he'll make quick work of it.
Resort chest is the big key. And Dragon will now be heading up to Turtle Rock. We'll get to see what sort of shenanigans happen in there. Alright, so iced tea room now for James. We can see what he finds over here. Just another piece of heart. That is going to give him a refill, though. And Dragon is now inside Turtle Rock. So Turtle Rock, when you're go moding, you want to see as many keys as early as possible as you can. And a compass in its vanilla location is not what you want to see.
And another piece of heart for James there. Not getting lucky in Ice Palace.
I believe James knows now that he has seen all 3 items. He can therefore head to the finish line. There's the magic powder in the front of Turtle Rock, so yes please? That's about when you want to see it.
Oh, absolutely. This is the best dungeon to have the powder in for sure.
But we now know for certain that the big key is going to be in its vanilla location, and this small key chest here in the chomp room will also be a small key. James, having exhausted all of his magic, now going to be employing some spin strats here on Cold Stare with the Master Sword.
All James needs now is Quake, so it's a matter of where is he going to go next to try to find that.
Alright, so we will see a flute. Let's hope it's to 6. Where's he going? It's 6. Is he going back into Mire? Looks like it might be the case. Depends on if he goes into Mire or if he mirrors to Land Mola's, but who knows? No, looks like we're going to Desert first. I imagine the Mire check will be second. Or, oh no, he hasn't checked Checkerboard Cave. I remember that now.
It would be very unfortunate if he ended up skipping Mire.
Now that being said, Dragon is quite a bit ahead and has the advantage of those boots. So it will be quite a tall order for James to catch up. Dragon now heading down to Laser Bridge. Required because we still need that small key. Find a shield, a single arrow, a boomerang, and the final chest will be the small key that we're looking for. And James finds just 10 arrows on Landmola's. He's got to know that this is spelling the end for this run.
Hopefully he goes in the mire.
He's going to end up bonking here. That's what happens when you mirror inside the rocks there. But it looks like the mire check is live, so we're going to get that Quake medallion.
This could very well all come down to where the big key is in Ganon's tower.
And speaking of the big key, that's the 7th crystal for Dragon, so it looks like it's time to start everybody's favorite big key guessing game.
So, Dr. Bob-tastic, where do you think it's going to be?
Well, my contractually obligated chest is Bob's chest. Let me go ahead and explain the game real fast. There's 22 locations where it can be. You put your number in from 1 to 22, and you can be entered for our leaderboard if you are a subscriber to one of the speed gaming channels or have 250 bits or more to any of those channels. You can be on the leaderboard. Feel free to play along either way, though. We will be cutting this off as soon as Dragon enters Ganon's tower, which will be very, very soon, so if you're hearing this, it's probably too late.
I personally always think it's the 7th chest they check.
Alright, could be. Dragon going right with that small key. Anyway, so we will now be heading to the compass room. 4 chests in there. James gets the Quake medallion and will be piecing out of Mire.
Which now puts him in go mode.
Piece of heart. Red ruby. There's the butter sword and +5 bombs. Dragon electing not to get the small key after those 4 chests, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt him. A piece of heart on the torch. That's number 7.
Well, I'm out then.
Number 8 coming up, or 8 through 11 coming up in the Stalfos room. Another small key, +10 arrows, and a map. Alright, we'll be heading into the Fire Snake room prior to the randomizer room. This will be chest number 13. Small key, which now makes it possible for Tile room to contain the big key. Now that we've seen 3 other small keys up front.
Very true, very true.
Alright, chest number 14 coming up. Piece of heart. Piece of heart. Red rupee. Piece of heart. That is 17. Still no big key in sight.
Imagine if it was vanilla big key.
I mean, that's pretty likely at this point. That's one of only 5 items remaining. Bob's chest number 18 containing only a heart container. And 19, piece of heart. 20, piece of heart. 21. It's Tile room, ladies and gentlemen.
The very last chest, too. That is something.
Now, James may make the Tile room play immediately, knowing that that might be his only chance of catching up.
I could see this. This is a 4-2 match, and whoever wins this will be moving on. So more aggressive routing choices I could see happening. I know if it was me, I'd be making some pretty aggressive routing choices.
I mean, unfortunately, James already made one aggressive routing choice, and it kind of came back to bite him.
But we have no idea what he's thinking. He could think that he's ahead, he could think he's behind. We don't know what's going on inside his head right now.
Alright, so Dragon now heading up the gauntlet. And off we go. Gonna head through the Gannon Run section here into our first section of what we call the gauntlet proper. Room number 1 done in no time at all, basically. And we move on to room 2. Taken care of with some arrows and pots. Room 3, a few slashes on these blue Zazaks, and we're done. Move on to room 4.
Seeing that butter sword always makes me hungry for popcorn.
Mmm. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. And Dragon taking care of these Wizrobe rooms. Second room, a little trickier than the first. Not gonna quite pull it off. But gets it in 2 cycles. Dragon is still checking chests on the way up GT in hopes of finding those silver arrows, I imagine. Unfortunately, we know exactly where they are, and Dragon is not going to locate them.
They will be literally right under his nose.
And so checking every chest except the last one, which makes no sense whatsoever. But that's okay. What made James so far behind was the Quake Medallion. So he finished out Misery Mire in a sort of go mode fashion in hopes that he had the medallion for Turtle Rock. Turns out he didn't. Also, Dragon has boots. And James will be entering Ganon's Tower before his opponent finishes, so that can be a pretty good feeling, at least. James is prepping his mirror, so it looks like the tile room gamble may not happen. Which is unfortunate because it would have paid off this time.
One of the rare times when it actually happens. But at least it wasn't boots locked for him.
That is true. He had to be concerned about the possibility of boots locked Big Key. Dragon getting bullied by these rings of fire here.
But he does have a blue potion, so he is safe on that regard.
Did you find the arrows in the Dark World? Now Dragon is like, what? Didn't I check everything? Nope. quickly on that spin.
But Ganon and I have the same weakness. Butter.
There is that. And down goes Ganon. The 12 spins, hitting just in time, and it looks like Dragon is gonna manage to pull this one out. Finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 42 seconds. Congratulations to Dragon on reaching the brackets.
GG.
We'll see if we can get him to join us.
And this, I believe, is one of our last days of brackets, if not the not brackets, the Swiss, if not the last day.
It should be the last day of Swiss action, unless there is, you know, a tie that needs to be resolved. All right, we'll see if we can get Dragon in here to discuss things. And we are now joined by the winner of this race, dragonc0. Dragon, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, do you have any idea what might have caused your opponent some grief here?
Bought Mire into boots on ledge.
Well, the boots for sure. He didn't get those. But the real thing that caused him grief was he gambled through Misery Mire, hoping that the Ether and Bombos medallions were going to be enough, and then went up to Turtle Rock, found out it was Quake, and he was like, "Oh no!"
It's tough. Yeah, I was thinking about it when I went to the checkerboard cave, and I'm like, I don't want to go into Mire Go mode, and then figuring out that I need Quake, I went to T-Rock first to check if I was Go mode or not, and I wasn't, so that helped, I guess.
Yep, very, very well done on that particular situation.
Yeah.
I just saw the credits text for BugNet at DigSpot, and it was "Wrong boy catches bees again," which is hilarious.
Nice.
So overall, how you feel about this run?
I made good decisions at least. That went really well. My light world wasn't as optimal as I wanted it to be, because I forgot I needed gloves for Spy Cave, and I forgot to check pedestal when I was in the forest, which made me have to clear.
You wanted to do that, but you just didn't do it.
It just didn't slip my mind. It just slipped my mind. I didn't realize I had. It didn't click for me that I had the book and that I could have checked pedestal, and I just forgot. So that made me full clear Eastern, which was unfortunate, I guess.
Your opponent actually did check the pedestal then, but you know, as we know, it didn't really pay off that much.
Yeah. But other than those two small mistakes, my light world was good, and I made the right decisions in Dark World. Bought first, then I did one. Maybe I should have done Dark World Kakariko first, but it worked out in the end decently enough to not make any major mistakes on that. So yeah, that was nice.
And it turns out, in terms of the light world, you two were pretty much right at the same time going up to Aga. Like there were a few minutes, like a couple of seconds separating you. So it was a very close early light world play.
Yeah, I knew my light world was pretty good, my routing, except for at the end when I went for a spy cave. That cost me a little bit of time. But for the rest, that light world routing was really good.
What are your thoughts on this seed?
Hammer starts and still Aga. Yeah, that's weird.
That's a rare occasion. Like I said, when you get the hammer first, it drops the Aga probability to a straight 16%, and
yeah,
that was pretty steep fall.
Yeah. We found like bow early. We found a ton of items early actually. Bow, then after that flippers and ocarina. That opened up so much. And yeah, the flippers into hobo turned into cape, and that was unfortunate. That meant Aga was in play.
And as soon as you found that sword, you're like, oh no.
Not even the sword, I was just thinking about that cape. I didn't care too much about that. That sword... Wait, my first sword was in Dark World, I believe.
First sword was on Paradox Cave.
Oh.
You have to have a sword to get to Agahnim.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. You're right. Okay, that slipped my mind also. Luckily that didn't cost me anything, so that's nice.
So we see your opponent now making his way through the gauntlet here. You had a very nice gauntlet, I just wanted to say.
That went pretty nice. I was a little bit low on magic, so I didn't want to use Fire Rod on land molas, but I had golds for it, so it wasn't too bad.
One item you didn't find was the silver arrows, and that was actually in the Pyramid Fairy Cave.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't have checked there anyway. Like after Thieves I found Titan's Myths already, so that means I only needed coins. And that turned out I would have done it after I would have cleared like Ice and Mire maybe, but not before that.
Right, so very like we said, it was very unlikely you were going to get that at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty good run all around, and congratulations on making it to the bracket stage. And good luck. Is there any do you have any goals for the bracket stage? You wanna do you think you can go all the way, or would you just be happy to advance?
I'm just going in open-minded. I don't mind if I win or lose. I'm just gonna have fun. I just for fun. I don't do any casual practice anyway. I just do these races and I'm having a blast. So yeah, that's how I'm in it. I don't really care. I like to get far, but I don't mind if I don't get far, as long as I played well.
All right. So is there anything else you'd like to say before we continue to follow James here to the end?
Not really. It was a pretty decent seed. It wasn't too terrible. So nothing on that. And yeah. I'm glad to be in the bracket, that's nice. So yay.
All right. So thanks for running for us, and we'll see you in the bracket stage, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you.
James also having no interest in that final chest, apparently. Though, for him, it makes a little more sense because he's got the silvers and the tempered sword at this point.
And the chance of that being butter, knowing what he knew, was very low.
James having a little trouble with these Agahnim patterns. They're not the prettiest Agahnim patterns. Oh, but I think that was a double.
Looked like it. He's not getting great RNG on the Saga fight.
And that was 3 projectiles that hit him, but I'm pretty sure only 2 of them counted. And there we go. Aga goes down. Time to go face off against Ganon. This time we'll have a tempered sword silvers fight. So, you know, also pretty straightforward. With a little less funkiness required in the final phase.
Some interesting use of cave straps for this Ganon fight. I don't know if he has potions or not.
He's also using like major sword spam strats, which will reduce the amount of magic used by the cape. I believe he did purchase at least a couple of potions before hitting Ganon's tower, and I didn't see him use any. So... Oh yeah, and I think there was a bottle with a green potion in it inside Ganon's tower as well.
And it looks like he also has an extra blue potion, so he'll be fine.
And there we go. 4 arrows, and he's down.
Even though he missed the torch glitch, he got a pretty good fight.
And JamesFnX finishing with an official time of 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 22 seconds. Congratulations to him. And we are now joined by JamesFnX, aka still had all these.
Yeah, still all these bad decisions in this race, that's for sure.
Oh, well, let me tell you something. You made the route that everyone that was on the stream and everybody who was commentating the stream agreed with in go-moding Mire and hoping that you had the right medallion for Turtle Rock. But unfortunately, it just turned out that the 33% chance kind of played against you.
Yep, that happened. I didn't play very well either, but yeah, I took a gamble and go-moding Mire and piece before hopping back into Mire once I found out that I wasn't in go mode.
Yep. Did every overworld piece except the one that would have done you a lot of good, which is the graveyard ledge where the boots were.
Oh, good.
It was dumb, I know. It's just this. You made all the right plays, and the seed just conspired against you, really.
I personally would have made like most of the same decisions.
Oh, I knew I was dead once I found Quake. I was all right. You got me.
We thought you might go for the tile room gamble, just thinking this is the only way he could possibly not be done by now.
It was either almost done or already done by the time I got into. I wasn't that close. So
yeah, he was almost done by the time you got in there. I think he had just finished Aga 2 when you entered Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and if I full clear Mire, maybe I thought about checking just before I left Mire and decided not to. I paused for a second and thought about it and then didn't do it. So
yeah, if you had full cleared Mire, I think this race would have been yours because you were significantly ahead at that point.
Mire, I get to go mode ice, and then I don't even have to go up to Turtle Rock and check first. I just go mode ice and go mode Turtle Rock. Like, I'm still worried about not having boots at that point. Boots and big keys on Torch, and then have to deal with that then. But
yeah, that
I figured if I had found Quake in my Mire route, I think it's a lot closer. I don't know if I win or not, but I think it's a lot closer.
Yeah, definitely a lot closer. But yeah, it was a very good run, and we were commiserating with you the whole time, just like, oh my goodness, how's this seed being so mean all of a sudden?
Yeah, it
One
started
seed bite me in the
so
butt
friendly, and then
this
it
tournament.
just...
But I mean, other than that, it was a well played run, and I don't think you have anything really to be mad at yourself about.
No, I've gotten very fortunate to get to this position in the tournament. Happy to see another early lamp. I haven't had to deal with dark rooms at all in this tournament, which has been very fortunate for me.
Wow.
And
nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a little frustrated when I full cleared Light World and still had to do Agahnim.
Yeah, but your opponent did the same thing, so.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have bothered to check Desert before going to Agahnim 1. I didn't do Moldarm Cave before, or just route that all in and go do Desert, and then never have to come back to South Shore. Little tiny routing mistakes, and then the one big one.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things just happen to you. So, congratulations again on finishing this race, and I think you had I will say you had an excellent run despite the way the seed treated you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap things up here today?
Hope everyone enjoyed the race. Come check out my stream sometime. Thanks to the casters. Thanks to the tracker. Check out their streams too. All the work they do and the admins do to make this tournament run smoothly has been really appreciated. Despite a lot of the clatter that's been going on around some other things, but I really appreciate what everyone's doing to make this tournament happen. Did much better in this tournament than I did in the fall, so I'm happy about that. And just check out these streamers and give them follows, give them views. Everyone is appreciated.
All right, so once again, I want to thank both of our runners, JamesFnX and dragonc0, for showing off their talents today. I want to thank our tracker, SayerUX, which I'm assuming is like the blue dragon of the East. And also my co-commentator, yeah, boy! Sorry, I had to do that again.
Hey, it's how it's pronounced.
Thank you so much for commentating alongside with me.
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure.
And if you enjoyed what you saw here today, the best way to help out those involved is to give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure everybody would appreciate it. So with that, I think it's about time to wrap things up, so I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I have been, yeah, boy!
And we'll see you later.
Thank you so much for watching.